Hi. We have one kind of cool game concept that is meant for large groups, and some of the Loquiz users are actually utilizing it for the business, but many probably have not considered it at all. So I'm gonna today talk about the crazy deals game concept. You can find the concept from your account if you go to the free templates and find the crazy deals concept here. So the video will be in several parts. And the first one is I'm going to just explain a little bit what the concept does. So with the concept together, you get a lot of materials as well. And in the About page here, you actually have a presentation. So this is the presentation that you can also utilize yourself if you need to pitch the concept to others. You can also take the presentation and just kind of configure or modify it as you see fit. So it's open source, so to speak, to use. If you're using Loquiz, it's beneficial for you. Now, the game is specifically actually made for large groups, and the ideal setting is pretty much like that. So you have a kind of evening setting with large tables, and you are looking for some kind of activity that is not too physical, but still creates some kind of interaction between people. And the crazy deals is built on that. So the idea is that you have 50 tasks in a game, but the game itself is not about the tasks, it's about making deals. And how it works is that each table is one team, and each table gets a specific amount of cards that then activate the tasks. So I have 50 cards here, and each card has a QR code on it. I will show you also the cards later. You can grab the cards yourself to prepare for the game. And this is one prop that you actually need for the game. So you need to print out the cards. You can do it yourself on a printer, or you can go to the printing house and print the cards out. So the idea is that you have a limited amount of cards per table, and you can use the QR codes to activate the tasks in a game. And then when you have used up your card, you need to go and kind of trade that card in with another table. So this is the main idea of the game. It's good to have a knowledge about the tasks, but it's even better to be able to go out and make the deals, because in addition to cards, very often there is also additional information with the card. If you have answered it once, then you know more about the question than the other party does. And this is something that is the essence of this game. Now the game can be actually played with quite many players. So if you think that around one table, maybe there's a 10, 12 person sitting. And usually in any game, we kind of say that, do not have too many too many participants in one team. So keep the teams small. Then in this game, it's kind of okay to keep the teams bigger, because everybody will have a role. So I'm not going to walk through the entire presentation, but just maybe show you some of the roles that people will be fulfilling there. So of course you need to solve the puzzles and do the tasks, but also you need to gather the missing cards. You also need to make deals to exchange the cards that are not useful for you. You also need to think what kind of information about each card to give out. And you also need to kind of try to gather intelligence about each of the question, even maybe before you activate it on your device. Okay, so the setup is such that you need a couple of cards per each table, and you need a device, one device per table. So it's very cost efficient game as well. And the device, preferably it's probably tablet. But if you use phone, that's perfectly okay. It has worked in the past and it will work in the future. So entire presentation is for you to access, so you can freely actually get it and also modify it if you want to. Now there is some more stuff with the game. There are some screenshots that you can actually use to maybe utilize in your own materials. And it's also showing the look of the game. So we have deliberately kept it kind of neutral, so you can modify it easily, and I will show it later how you can modify it. But the basic layout is very simple. You have the playground with all the icons. You cannot do anything by clicking on icons. You need to utilize the QR scanner to actually open the task. You can only open the task if you have the card, and then you answer it either correctly or incorrectly, and then the card is useless for you, so you need to trade it in with somebody else. And this trading is all about what the game is about. Now, in instructor notes, you will see that there are cards that you can actually print out. So let me open one card sample. So this is the green card sample. There are 50 of these cards, and each card has a unique QR, and each unique QR actually activates then one task in a game. But what you also can get is that you can get only the QR codes, so you can fully design your own cards if you want to. Okay, so there are some more customization options, and I'm going to show them much later. But now let's create the game. So to create a game, we just click create a game, and first we will do it totally default, so we will not change anything. On the left here, as in every Loquiz game, you see the tasks that are in the game, and we have 50 tasks in a game. They are all puzzle tasks, so there are no photo or video tasks. And the idea is that because intended use is that people might not know each other too well, it's better to work on a puzzle than maybe to make photos together. But you can change the tasks out if you want really easily. Then we will go through the rules tab, and here you see that we have the playground. And this is what the people then will see. There is no map in this game, so map is not used. And you have the rules as well. The important part about the rules is that they are very simple. You don't need to dig into them at all if you don't want to. But the basic idea is that it basically says, if you scan this QR, open this task. So task QR is like task 1, task 2, task 3, and they are prepared as such in the material as well. You can also make up your own QRs. You can change the strings for the QRs if you want to, so no problem there. What it does is that it makes it easy to change the tasks. You don't need to change your QRs if you are changing the tasks. So for example, if you're adding corporate tasks into the game, like company specific tasks, then you do not need to reprint the cards, so you can utilize the cards that you have designed for yourself. Or you can utilize the default cards. So we don't do anything here at the moment. We go to the configuration and we just save the game, and that makes it ready to play. So our next aim is to go and start the game, and I will just walk you through the game again when it's also started on my mobile phone. Okay, I have opened Loquiz application. I scan this QR code just to start the game. I will start the game by registering my team name. As said, the teams can be quite large, so the intended use is that the teams are 5 or more people. 10 even works quite well. But the game has been played also even individually, and then you need much larger groups, of course. If you have only 10-15 persons, then it's perfectly okay to also play it individually if you want to. Now, the player sees the playground. We call them playgrounds, but it's a screen. And this screen has 50 tasks. And if you come all the way down here, then it kind of says to you that, hey, just scan the QR code. So clicking on those icons does nothing. The color of the icons in the default game does nothing. But again, if you build a custom game, you can actually, kind of make sense also with different colors, like maybe green is the easiest and yellow is a little bit hardest. But the default game does not differentiate here, so it's just set up so that you can activate any card that you want to. So here I have my cards. So I have a bunch of cards, and let's try to actually start one of them. So I start the QR reader and I scan the card and I get a task. And right away you see that the task is timed. So gathering intelligence even before you actually start the task might be very good, because they might maybe not tell you the correct answer, but they might tell you that the task only had 3 minutes to solve it, and it was puzzle about some kind of water, wood, sand thing. So even that might help you a little bit forward. So I'm not gonna give the correct answer here. I'm just gonna put the random thing, and I got the wrong answer. Now with that action, I actually know something about the card. So now you can see that number 21 that I solved is solved now. So I can't do anything with that anymore. If I get the same card and I try to scan it again, it says that this is already scanned. So 21 is scanned for me, and that means that there's not much I can do with that. I need to trade it in. So, and here the inter-table thing comes to play. So others need the card that you have, and you need the cards that others have. And the idea is that within the limited time frame, and the default is 30 minutes, and I would say this is actually quite a good game. It shouldn't be too long. It's actually better if it kind of finishes before you can get all the tasks answered. You want to answer as many tasks correctly. So this is the aim of the game. But again, as said, the puzzles are only part of the game. The real like the game essence is actually trading in the cards, collecting intelligence, finding your missing cards, and only somebody at your table probably needs to kind of keep track what you have, what you don't have, and also answer and solve the actual puzzles. So this is pretty much what the game itself does. And now I will also show you what the kind of host can do very briefly. Okay, so looking at the host view, we also recommend that if you're running a game for bigger crowds, then utilize the big screen as well that is usually available. And for this game, you can utilize the standing table. So this is the most perfect thing to show. Really, the photo wall is only to be used if they actually make photos, and the default game does not have any photo or video tasks, and the map is not used in the game. We also utilize the chat in the default game because it might help to find the cards, missing cards, with the chat as well. But I would say that in real life, actual going around talking to people works much better than chat. So chat is totally optional. You don't need to have it. And you can also make the theme dark if you want to, and you can hide the menu, so it's kind of showing you the table and what you can, how the teams are progressing and how the teams are doing on the big screen. Okay, so that is about playing the game and running the game, and now let's go into how to actually modify the game. Okay, to modify the game, let's open the same game again. And let's go through some of the stuff that you can really modify here. First of all, you can change out the questions like in every game. And you can also translate the questions as they stand here. And also if you deploy this game template, you will also get the questions or tasks that are used in this game template to your collection. So you will have way more tasks in your collection. Don't be surprised about that. But there are some stuff that you can actually do with the tasks as well. So I'm going to open one of those tasks. And first of all, as I said, you can manipulate the points. So you can do it so that some of the cards are worth more than some other cards. And to communicate that to the player, you might go to the settings and say, okay, I'm going to change the pin icon. And you will have the green, yellow and red icons available if you deploy the template, so you can kind of change the icons out if you want to. Now also the time limit, and the time limit is interesting because we kind of have put a lot of time limits in this game because you have a limited amount of time, and that should create a little bit of urgency from the minute you will open the task with the card, then you need to kind of decide what you want to do with that. So it is beneficial to get the information maybe beforehand. So more intelligence you have, the better your chances to answer correctly within this time frame. However, you can also tick this box, and this says score depends on answering speed, and that makes it really, really strong drive, so that you need as much information before you activate the card, because every second you lose some points for that card as well. So in the beginning, when you open the cards first time, you don't have much information about them. But the more people have been playing with the cards and opening, then there is a kind of, for each card, there is a information, growing around it. And if teams pass this information on, it's extremely valuable for the teams that are answering later on. So this is one of those game dynamics that we did not maybe realize in the very beginning, but in some games it's popping out really well. So this is what you can actually quite easily modify with your tasks. Now, if we go to the rules, then you can also modify the rules, so you can have different QR codes. And the game has been run so that there were actually people's name tags, and on these name tags there were QR codes. So it was individual people, not too big crowd, but you could use the QRs from these name tags as well if you change the QR string here. However, the default game is built so that we have all the QRs, task 01, task 02, task 03, so it's extremely easy to keep track. And also, if you change the questions, you don't need to reprint your QR code, so the preparation you do for your own design QR code cards is just one time, no problem there. So this is basically the whole setup. Now, there is a question like, okay, let's say I don't want to add all the cards into the game. I want to run really short game. I don't have too many people. What do I do? For that, actually, I recommend not to rebuild the game at all. Just like remove some of the cards from the game and only give some of the cards out. And it's perfectly okay. It works really well. The players will not be able to activate all the tasks, but they will be able to activate the same amount of tasks, every one of them, because there is a fixed amount of cards in the game. Also, if you don't give out all the cards in the beginning of the game, you can keep some of the cards to yourself as a game host, and then maybe give them out as the need comes, like there is some special assignment that teams can do or something else, so that they can earn the cards. But still, I advise you to keep it so that there is this element of dealing between the teams. So you do not give all 50 cards to one team and the same 50 cards to another team. Then it wouldn't work as planned. Now, the second question is also there, and this is kind of connected to the rules, is that I have so many people that 50 cards is not really enough. What do I do? So in this case, we recommend not to actually raise the amount of questions. So don't make like 100 question game or 200 question game, because then the teams need to answer a big amount of questions, and it's probably not very fun anymore. Just grab a set of cards with the exact same QR codes and distribute them as well. So teams have more likelihood of finding a card. So, and this applies, for example, if you have, if you have 50 teams and you would give one card to each team, and this is definitely too little. So we recommend 3, 4, 5 cards to each team so that they can actually make the deals as well. And if you face that situation that you have a lot of teams, then just have another set of cards that are exact copy of the first set. And then there is 2 cards that can activate the same task, and the teams, it's easier for the teams to find the card at hand. So this is like a customization that you can do, but we kind of recommend to keep it quite static. And then there are some things that you can also customize for the branding. So of course you can change the game logo, no problem. You can also go to the design tab and change the task background image. You can change the colors of the links and stuff. But the biggest thing most probably is the playground. So you can kind of redesign your own playground. You can redesign your own icons if you want to. But if you don't want to redesign the icons, what you can do with the playground is that you can easily change the playground color. So it's made so that the playground itself, let me show it here. The playground itself is actually transparent and the color is set by the background. So if I go to the configuration, if I go to the playgrounds and change that color here, let's make it greenish, okay? And now if I go back to the rules tab and look at the playground again, it's another color totally. So very easy to add your company color or add your client's colors into the game without changing too much. And the same thing applies. I want to include less questions. Do we need to redesign the entire playground? You don't need to do that. It's okay if some of those icons, if some of the tasks cannot be activated. And even if you delete some of the tasks from the game, you will still get the icons here that say that the task is basically done. So no problem there, no need to redesign everything. Okay, so that is about it. If you decide to give this game a try, give it a try. It's really cool game that is, I think, underutilized, and the ones who are actually utilizing it, they are utilizing it a lot. Thanks.